Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Raw Radiant Health, and I'm Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me. So, it's Friday, it's the end of the week, which is, I'm sure everyone is like super excited. I'm also kind of excited, it's the end of the week. I need like a day or two just to put my feet up and just chill out. Things have been really super busy, which is great. It's good, it's all good. So, today I want to talk about alcohol because I got an email, I believe last week, asking me if I drank alcohol on a raw food diet. And I think this is a personal decision. Some people do, some people don't. I think most people that are on a raw food diet don't. And I think it's because it's why are you on the diet, you know? Like for me, I'm on raw foods to be healthy and also for spiritual reasons, okay? So for me with the alcohol, I kind of stopped drinking years before I even went raw because I've never done very well on alcohol. I used to be, when I was younger, much younger, I used to be a heavy drinker, and I did that for many years, and I now choose not to. To make a long story short, so once in a while I do have a glass of wine, you know, maybe once every few months or maybe once a year. I just get serious, like brutal hangovers the next day, like even just from having like a half a glass of wine, the next day I'm in bed. And I noticed when I went raw, I think it was like a month in, I had wine and I could barely drink it. Like I had like 2 sips of it and it was like literally coming up on me, and I was in like one of these trendy restaurants and I was afraid I was gonna like vomit all over the floor. I mean, it was terrible. So I learned my lesson there that like I just, luckily I didn't get sick or anything, but I did feel like I was gonna be sick, and so I barely drank. And I've got like super low tolerance. So, but the thing is what I want to talk about today is some tricks, because as I mentioned before, I actually stopped drinking years ago. But at the same time, all my friends drink. I go to parties, I go to clubs, I go to bars. I'm out, I'm about, and I just don't drink. And I know that for some people, a lot of times the reason why they drink when they go out or when they're socializing is because they want to fit in, or they feel some sort of pressure from people, or the people they're with feel uncomfortable if they're not drinking. And I've gone through all of this, okay? Like, you know, I've dealt with the peer pressure. And in fact, when I was back in the day when I was in university, I actually bartended all the way through university, and so I really dealt with like a lot of pressure of drinking with the gang, you know, and I learned a lot of tricks. Like I have tons of tricks up my sleeve on how to actually go out and be social and not drink and have no one notice. So that's what I'm going to share with you today, because you can do that and you can have like the time of your life. You can be out till dawn and no one would even pick up on the fact that like the whole night you've been drinking water or nothing at all. So, and everyone's happy, because that's the main thing. You know, we go out because we want to have fun and we want to be with our friends, and that's what we have to remind ourselves too. You know, if someone makes a fuss that like, you know, you're not drinking with them, then, you know, that's kind of silly, and you know, you got to stand up and you know, point it out that like you're there to be with them because, you know, that's your friend or your family or whatever, you know. So anyways, I'm going to give you some tips though on how you don't have to be put on the spot and how there doesn't need to be a fuss or anything. So my #1 tip when you go to a bar and you're not drinking, because especially being on raw foods, like I can't drink anything at a bar, you know, like I don't drink soda, I don't drink their boxed, pre-made juices and things like that. Like the only thing I can drink is water. So, and a lot of times the bar owner or the bartender doesn't want you ordering water because, you know, they got to make their money. So the one thing that I do is I still order my water, but I always make sure to give an extra tip to the bartender because, you know, just a little something extra than what I normally tip, because then they're happy. You know, they're happy to get a bit of money for something that's free, and then there's no fuss coming from the bartender, and it's not them giving you a bad face, nothing. And sometimes too, what I do, like especially if, like, let's say I'm meeting a friend at a bar and it's very quiet at the bar, right? And like that's the worst. If like you walk in a bar and there's no one there and you're sitting at the bar waiting for someone and you're ordering water, because then they're really like, you know, what are you doing here? So what I do if I have to enter an empty bar and it's only me and I'm waiting for someone is I'll tell the bartender that, you know, I'll sit down and I'll be like, you know, I'm just going to start right now with a glass of water because I need to rehydrate, and then I'll have a drink later when my friend arrives, okay? And then once my friend arrives, then she can buy or he can buy his drink, and I can just continue drinking my water, and at least I'm not being put on the spot, okay? So that's another idea. Now, when you're at a club or something like that and a bar's busy, then, you know, there's no big deal about it. No one really notices if you're drinking or not. And, I mean, and if someone buys you a drink, then you take the drink. You can hold it all night, and you don't necessarily need to be drinking it. I've gone through many nights where I've been walking around with a beer bottle in my hand, like, not drinking it, but just have it there. It's like an accessory. So that's another thing. And also, when people buy shots, that's another thing, and they're passing it around, and, you know, you don't want to be rude, so you accept your shot, but you don't necessarily have to drink it down. You can take it, you can smile, you can be like, yeah, right on, and then you take it, you walk away, and you just put it somewhere. Hide it, or give it to someone else that might want it. So there's always ways of kind of maneuvering around a situation. And because the main thing is that everyone has to remember that they're out at a bar or at a party or at a club or wherever to socialize and to have fun. And, you know, and I think the thing is, it's you never know, like there might be someone in that gang that you're with that's watching you, and that's like, wow, you know, she can go out or he can go out and have fun and dance all night and not have to be on anything. You know, this person can be super confident, hold their own, and be radiantly beautiful and not be drunk, and, you know, and be great and have a good time, and everyone around them is enjoying their presence and company, you know. So a lot of times too, you know, you're an example for others as well, and maybe you'll inspire someone else to take better care of themselves too. So the main thing is I feel is, you know, your health and your happiness, it always comes first. And, you know, when that's first and when that's the priority, then you decide whether you want to do this or you want to do that. But the main thing is to take responsibility for it. You know, like for me, like I get a bad hangover from one drink, and once in a while I have that one drink. You know, and the next day I take responsibility for it. It's my decision, and I move on. I'm not going to feel bad. I'm not going to feel guilty. It's just how things go. So I'm going to leave you guys with that, and I wish you a fabulous, fantastic weekend, and I will see you on Monday.